Welcome back to another episode of Scholastic Haiku, the game where knowledge rules. I'm your host, Ethan Neer, and this time we have two teams returning to see if they can move further in our playoff bracket. So let's go ahead and introduce those teams. As our bottom team, we have from Centralia, Blade, Jackson, John, and Claire. And as our top team, we have Johnston City with Waylon, Chase, Ava, and Gavin. And now, Claire, I notice your mortal enemy from last episode, Clara, is no longer here. Gavin, are you gonna take up the mantle, take up the role?
Absolutely, I'm ready to rock.
All right.
We're in the same seats. It's destiny.
Oh yeah, I will be keeping score just like last time. Even if the audience doesn't know, we'll know. But before we get into those questions to see which of you is superior, let's get into the rules. We'll start out with some toss-up questions. Each of those will be worth 10 points. If they get it right, they'll move on to a bonus question that is worth 20 points. If the team gets the bonus question wrong, the other team can steal for 10 points. If either of you interrupt me at any time and get the question wrong, the other team will be awarded 5 points. We all on the same page? We understand the rules? All right, so with that out of the way, let's get into our questions. The triple alpha process produces a nuclei of what element whose allotropes include the fullerenes and graphites? John.
Carbon.
Carbon is correct, well done. For our first bonus, in 1911, the Supreme Court held that what company founded by John D. Rockefeller was, quote, an unreasonable monopoly that violated the Sherman Antitrust Act?
Standard Oil.
Standard Oil is correct. Well done. We'll move on to our next question. What man coined the term Banana Republic, depicted a bratty kidnapped boy in The Ransom of Red Chief, and used Ava?
Oh, Henry?
Oh, Henry is correct. Well done. The bonus, what element in which Dmitry Mendeleev predicted as Excalicon lies under silicon on the periodic table and is named after a European country?
Francium.
Francium is incorrect. Centralia, a chance to steal.
Scandium.
Scandium is also incorrect. I see Claire was whispering it. Germanium. It would have been the correct answer for that one. So not on the board yet, Claire, but I'm keeping track.
In my heart.
In your heart, you are. Imaginary points are just as real. For the next toss-up, what institutions which were targeted in Viking raids on Ilona and Lindisfarne faced a dissolution by Henry VIII that ousted many Catholic monks?
Monasteries?
Monasteries is correct. What adjective meaning suave or sophisticated comes from a French phrase literally meaning of good family or good nature?
Aristocrat.
Aristocrat is incorrect. Centralia, a chance to steal.
Charismatic.
Charismatic, also incorrect. The answer we're looking for was debonair. Debonair. I'll take it back to the toss-ups. What quantity which appears on the y-axis of the phase diagram for water has a standard value of about 101 kilopascals, or, John?
Pressure.
Pressure is correct. Well done. For your bonus, the book Call Us What We Carry is by what author who read her poem The Hill We Climb at Joe Biden's inauguration? Oh. John, I see the wheels turning here. I believe Claire, John was suggesting Maya Angelou, and then you whispered to him, she's dead, which I'm pretty sure she is dead. I think you're right on that one. Johnston City, you guys do have the chance to steal here. 10 seconds for you. Which one?
Gorman?
Gorman is correct. Amanda S.C. Gorman is right. It would have been very funny if you had answered Maya Angelou, and I'm just like, no, she's dead. She could. We'll take it back to the toss-ups. What arena that hosts the Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show is near Penn Station, is the home of the New York Knicks, and is abbreviated M. John?
Madison Square Garden.
Madison Square Garden's correct. Well done. Also home of the New York Rangers. Go hockey. There's no hockey questions, but that'll be my hockey trivia for the quiz.
Go hockey.
No hockey. For your bonus, the London Conference of 1832 confirmed what country's independence from the Ottoman Empire under new King Otto von Wittelsbach?
Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia is incorrect. Johnston City, a chance to steal.
Austria.
Austria is also incorrect. The answer we're looking for was Greece. A man with the most Austrian or German name sounding on the planet apparently was the leader of Greece. For the next toss-up, what explorer who popularized the term New World was immortalized by the mapmaker Martin Waldseemüller, who used his first name to reference America? Gavin.
Amerigo Vespucci.
Amerigo Vespucci is correct. Well done. For your bonus, noctilucent clouds form in what layer of Earth's atmosphere located directly above the stratosphere? It is a bonus question. You will be able to buzz in a second, Claire. Don't worry.
Thermosphere.
So you're all out of time. Claire, I think you know the answer to this one.
The ecosphere?
Ecosphere is incorrect. I'm looking for mesosphere. Mesosphere.
Bill Nye failed me.
And we'll now take it to our first media question. This Grammy-nominated American rapper gained John.
Post Malone.
Post Malone is correct. Well done there. And since that is a media question, there will be no bonus question. So we'll take it back to the toss-ups. What composer of The Wanderer Fantasy and the Trout Quintet only fully orchestrated 2 movements of his 8th symphony, The Unfinished? Claire.
Beethoven?
Beethoven is incorrect.
Wait.
Ava.
Oh, Schubert?
Schubert's correct. Well done.
That was a bonus.
And now for your bonus. In Philip Pullman's series, His Dark Materials, what term is used in Lyra's world for external souls such as Pantalaimon, which take the form of animals? Pantalaimon. There we go.
Demons?
Daemons is correct. Well done. Back to the toss-ups. What 2020 presidential candidate about whom Mitch McConnell said, nevertheless she persisted, is a Democratic senator from Massachusetts? So you guys are all out of time. There was a whole controversy about her claiming Native American heritage, despite the fact that she was only like 1% or something. The answer is Elizabeth Warren. Elizabeth Warren. Our next question. What man who was succeeded as king by Numa Pompilius was the son of Rhea Silvia, the twin brother of Remus? John.
Romulus.
Romulus is correct. And I'm sure our camera person, Jesse, freaking out that there was another Roman history question. And now we'll take it to your bonus question. Pencil and paper ready. If rotated and reflected, boards are considered the same. How many different first moves exist for X in tic-tac-toe?
Nine.
9 is incorrect. Johnston City, a chance to steal. I think Gavin City giving me a look like he also, I think Gavin City. Gavin, give me a look like he also thought it was 9, I think.
6.
6 is incorrect. The answer we're looking for is 3. You were just giving me like an open eye look like I thought it was.
Because I was like 3 times 3 is 9. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would have thought too.
That
Apparently,
kinda
yes.
makes sense.
I guess I can read the explanation. The only choices are center, corner, or middle of a side. The other spaces are corners and middle of sides and thus represent mere rotations.
That makes sense, I guess.
And to the next toss-up. What town whose redoubt number was 10, redoubt number 10 was taken by Alexander Hamilton's troops is where French and American armies drove Charles Cornwallis to surrender? Gavin.
Yorktown.
Yorktown is correct. Popular song in the musical Hamilton about it too. And for your bonus, the dashing French Churchill visits the town of Highbury in what Jane Austen novel named for a headstrong young woman?
Emma?
Emma is correct. Well done, Ava. Back to this also. What landmark is supposedly protected by a group of captive ravens, was once used as a prison, and is now home to the British crown jewels? John.
Tower of London.
Tower of London is correct. Well done, John. For your bonus, Tekhen was an ancient Egyptian term for what tall pointed structures exemplified by Cleopatra's Needles and the Washington Monument?
Obelisk.
Obelisk is correct. Well done there. Now to the toss-up. What specialized cells have nodes of Ranvier at unmyelinated spots along their axons and transmit action potentials in the human nervous system? John.
Synapses.
Synapses is incorrect. Johnston City, you still have a chance to answer here. Gavin.
Neurons.
Neurons is correct. Well done there, Gavin. For your bonus, what country's men's basketball team won Eurobasket 2017, qualified for their first Olympics in 2020, and features NBA star Luka Doncic?
Russia.
Russia is incorrect. Centralia, a chance to steal.
Slovenia.
Slovenia is correct. Well done, John. Gavin, I think you might have had that one. That would have been your second guess.
No.
No. You looked so confident.
No, I was just trying to like run through countries that I was like, Doncic.
Yeah, that could be Russian. Yeah, no, I get you. And now we'll take it to another media question. This theme song was made for the comedy television series created by Jim Henson. The show was a variety. Claire.
The Muppets.
The Muppets is correct. The Muppets.
Good work.
Well
I
done.
love the Muppets.
You get all the Jim Henson ones.
And we'll take it back to the toss-ups. What four-letter word in which in French can mean expensive or dear is the stage name of the singer of If I Could Turn Back Time and Believe? Jackson.
Cher.
Cher is correct. Well
Good
done.
work.
And for your bonus, what city on the Chena River is named for Theodore Roosevelt's vice president and is the second most populous city of Alaska?
Anchorage.
Anchorage is incorrect. Johnston City, a chance to steal here.
Fairbanks?
Fairbanks is correct. Named for Charles Fairbanks. Well done, Aiden. On to our next question. What monarch who took power by deposing her husband Peter III in 1762 relied on lovers such as John?
Catherine the Great.
Catherine the Great is correct. Well done. For the bonus, what 18th century British author wrote about a man whose nose is damaged by Dr. Slop in the comic novel Tristram Shandy?
No answer.
No answer. Johnston City, a chance to steal here.
No answer.
The answer you're looking for there is Lawrence Stern. Lawrence Stern. On to our next question. What author who had a long relationship with the feminist Simone de Beauvoir wrote, quote, "Hell is other people"? Ava.
Sartre?
Sartre is correct. Well done. For your bonus, what company in 2020 launched a satellite internet constellation named Starlink has produced such rockets as the Falcon 9?
SpaceX.
SpaceX is correct. Well done. On to the next toss-up. What city where the International Fountain was designed for the Century 21 exposition contains the Museum of Pop Culture and the Space Needle? Gavin.
Seattle.
Seattle is correct. John, I see yourself shaking your
I'm
head.
in shambles.
Yeah, as soon as that Space Needle came up, I think everybody knew the answer. And for your bonus, the original kamikaze were storms that destroyed fleets sent to invade Japan by what empire that controlled China?
Mongols.
Mongol is correct, the Mongol Empire. Well done. And that will now take us to our lightning round. The way our lightning round works is both teams will have 60 seconds to answer as many questions as they can about a particular topic. Since you guys are trailing here, you will have the first choice in our lightning round. Your topics are Romeo and Juliet, U.S. lakes, grams, that's G-R-A-M's, or RAM, R-A-M.
Romeo and Juliet.
Romeo and Juliet, all right. Answer the following about William Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. 60 seconds on the clock for you. I'll count you down. 3, 2, 1. Romeo's family caught in a feud with the Capulets.
Montague.
That's correct. Italian city where it is set.
Venice.
Verona.
That's correct. Friar who aids Romeo and Juliet.
Pass.
Hot-tempered man Romeo kills to avenge Mercutio.
Tybalt.
Tybalt's correct. Rude gesture Samson makes in the opening scene.
Biting your thumb.
That's correct. Ruler whose arrival ends the opening brawl.
Pass.
Girl who Romeo is lovesick for.
Juliet.
Say again?
Juliet.
That's incorrect. City where Romeo resides after his exile.
Pass.
The Capulet's foolish, illiterate servant.
Pass.
Nobleman to whom Juliet is betrothed.
Pass.
Friar who aids Romeo and Juliet.
Tuck.
That's incorrect. Ruler whose arrival ends the opening brawl.
Pass.
City where Romeo resides after his exile.
Florence.
Florence is incorrect. The answers that you guys missed on that one: friar who aids Romeo and Juliet, Friar Lawrence. Ruler whose arrival ends the opening brawl, Prince Aeschylus. Girl for whom Romeo is lovesick for in Act 1, Rosaline.
Yeah.
City where Romeo resides after his exile, Mantua. The Capulet's foolish illiterate servant, Peter. And nobleman to whom Juliet is betrothed is Paris. All right, Centralia, you're able to nod up the score there at least. So, Johnston City, let's see if you can add to a bit of a lead here. I'll reread your topics for you. Topics are U.S. lakes, grams, or ram.
Lakes.
Lakes? Alrighty. In what state are the following lakes? I'll count you down from 60 seconds here. 3, 2, 1. Lake Pontchartrain. Pontchartrain, excuse me.
Pass.
Lake Itasca.
Pass.
Lake Okeechobee.
Florida.
Lake Placid near the site of the 1980 Winter Olympics.
Pass.
Great Salt Lake.
Utah.
Franklin D. Roosevelt Lake formed by the Grand Coulee Dam.
Washington.
Washington's correct. Lake of the Ozarks.
Missouri.
That's correct. Lake Yasmin. Or Yosemite. I would say Yasmin. It's Yosemite.
California.
California's correct. Lake Cumberland near this state's border with Tennessee.
Kentucky.
That's correct. Grand Lake of the Cherokees.
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma's correct. Lake Pontchartrain. So you guys are all out of time. Lake Pontchartrain is Louisiana. Lake Itasca is Minnesota. Lake Placid, near the site of the 1980 Winter Olympics, is New York. And I believe you guys got all the rest of them. And I get an excuse that I said Yasmin, not Yosemite. I'm Canadian. That is my excuse for not knowing how that's pronounced. All right, so after that, I believe Johnston City, you got, let me count here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them correct, if my math is right. So that'll put you at a 70-point lead, 250 to 180. But Centralia still got the back half of the game to catch up here. All right, for your first question after our lightning round, pencil and paper ready. What is the length of the longest chord of a circle whose radius is 6, given the longest chord must be the circle's diameter? John.
12.
12's correct. For your bonus, the most covered pop song ever is often said to be what track from the Beatles album Help, which describes how, quote, love was such an easy game to play.
Yesterday.
Yesterday's correct. Well
Yeah,
done, John.
That makes sense.
Right, buzzer beater there, too.
Actually, that was Blade.
Oh, that was Blade?
Let me
All right,
not.
nice job.
Let me not take credit.
And then for the next toss-up, what empire, once led by Huáscar, had its capital at Cuzco and was dissolved?
The Incas.
The Incan is correct. Well done there. For your bonus, what class of drugs, of which ibuprofen is an example, helps to reduce fever and inflammation and is commonly known by a 5-letter acronym?
NSAID.
NSAID is correct. Well done there. All right, we'll move on to our next question. What TV show on which Matea Roach, Amy Schneider, and Matt Amadio have been super champions? Ava.
Jeopardy.
Jeopardy is correct. For your bonus, cigars made from seaweed are enjoyed by what captain of the submarine Nautilus in Jules Verne's novel 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea?
Captain Nemo.
Captain Nemo is correct. No relation to Nemo the fish, I'm sure. For the toss-up, what country is home to the port of Guayaquil, is the northernmost of 2 South American countries not bordering Brazil, and is governed from Quito? Ava.
Ecuador.
Ecuador is correct. Well done. For the bonus, what constitutional amendment, which was demanded by protesters called the Silent Sentinels, was ratified in 1920 and gave women the right to vote?
19th.
19th is correct. Well done there, Eva. Back to the toss-ups. What novel in which an operation on the clubfoot of Hippolyte is botched by Charles, describes the title woman's affairs, and is by Gustave Flaubert?
Madame Bovary.
Madame Bovary is correct. John, I see once again that reaction. Just a little too slow on the Bovary. For your bonus, what 6-letter word from the Greek for tactile describes feedback detected by touch, such as vibrations of a cell phone when its screen is pressed? Sorry, you guys are all out of time. Centralia, you still have 10 seconds to guess.
No answer.
Answer we're looking for there was haptic feedback. And for our next toss-up, pencil and paper ready. If the logarithm of x equals 3, what is the logarithm of the quantity x raised to the 5th power? Sorry, you guys are all out of time. The answer we're looking
Sorry.
for there. No, you're good. Answer we're looking for there was 15. 15. The next toss-up. Anna Pavlova's signature dance portrayed a dying one of what animal into which Odette is transformed in? Ava.
Swan.
Swan is correct in Tchaikovsky's ballet Name for the Lake. And Claire, I think you knew that one for sure, yeah. And I threw the question down, but you do get a bonus question because you got that right. You know what? We'll just use that bonus question. In what book of the Bible does the villain Haman attempt to kill all the Jews in Persia?
Esther.
Esther is correct. Well done. And back to our normal questions. What youngest living member of the Baseball Hall of Fame was the only man inducted by the BBWAA vote in 2022 and is a former Red Sox designated hitter known as Big Papi? John.
Ortiz.
Ortiz is correct. For your bonus, what philosopher equated God and nature in a work written, quote, in geometrical order and posthumously published in 1677, The Ethics?
Kafka.
Kafka is incorrect. Johnston City, a chance to steal here.
No answer.
Answer we're looking for there was Baruch Spinoza. And now we'll move to another media question. This actor's real name is John.
Vin Diesel.
His name is not John. It is correct, Vin Diesel.
Family.
That's a very appealing picture of Vin Diesel too. I wonder what movie that's from. I don't know.
Probably Fast and
Probably Fast and Furious.
That's the only movie he's in, right? Is Fast and Furious. Yeah.
Yeah, only.
For the next toss-up, what materials whose high temperature variety is exemplified by YbCO expel their magnetic fields in the Meissner effect and have zero resistance? Chase.
Superconductors.
Superconductors is correct. Well done, Chase. For your bonus, Nathan Evans' 2021 TikTok performance of The Wellerman helped popularize what type of song intended to be sung by sailors in time with their work?
Sea shanties.
Sea shanties is correct. God, what a fantastic TikTok trend that was. Oh, the internet was at peace for a while. For the next toss-up, what objects of which is scheduled to be redirected by a NASA probe in 2022 lie? Waylon.
Asteroids.
Asteroids is correct. Well done. For your bonus, what physics law states that the force between two stationary charges is proportional to the product of the charges divided by the distance squared?
No answer.
All right. Centralia, a chance to steal.
Second law of thermodynamics.
Sorry, that is incorrect. The answer we're looking for was Coulomb's law.
Okay.
Take it to another toss-up. What protagonist has lunch with the lexicographer Syme at the Ministry of Truth and writes down, quote, John? Does not write down John. He writes down something else.
Robert.
Robert is incorrect. I will read the rest of the question. And writes down with Big Brother in his diary in George Orwell's 1984. Ava.
Winston Smith.
Winston Smith is correct. And we'll take it to your bonus. What noun refers to favoritism based on family ties and comes from a word for nephew because popes used to appoint their nephews as cardinals?
Nepotism.
Nepotism is correct. Well done, Gavin. And I believe I'm hearing that is all the time we have for here on today's show. So let's take a look at our score. Johnston City, you guys are sitting at 455, really building on that lead that you made in the bonus round, and Centralia with 230. And as we take a look at our mini score between Gavin and Clara, I believe it stayed at 4-2 after the lightning round. So Gavin taking it home and avenging Clara. Well done. But that is all the time we have for on today's show. For all of our lovely contestants here today and everybody working hard behind the scenes, I'm Ethan Neer. Thank you and good night.